It's weird when the camera's on the other side. I'm gonna wait for people to come in. And then we're gonna get started on why reading is fun for the mental, fundamental. All right, there's enough people. So I've been seeing a certain individual um, telling people to write legal documents in lowercase letters. Um, one more who follows, well, I shouldn't say follow, but one more who listens to this individual says that the reason why this specific individual is telling Moors to write in lowercase letters is because capital letters deals with capitalism, and they're linking that with the straw man and bonds and things like that. Um, I want you to use your brains and realize how that is foolish. That's like saying we can't use the word gene or genetics because the word genocide deals with destroying genes and genetics and destroying a nation. Um, this is why learning how to read and write is important, because then you can't be fooled by anyone. Literally, when you spell, proper nouns correctly, like cities, places, names, the name of things, um, in a sentence, and when you capitalize the first letter of the first word in a sentence, that's dealing with grammar. So I'm just going to read the definition of grammar, and I'm going to show you how it's connected to Egyptian hieroglyphs, which is what your ancestors taught or wrote in, right? So this is from Etymon Online. This is an app that you can get. You see the word grammar. It says dealing with rules of Latin. Now that's where most people would stop, but obviously if you've been studying, you know to keep reading. So you end up seeing how it's derived from the word gram. Right, so just click on that. Boom. Then you see it states that which is drawn right here. That which is drawn. And it's connected to this word right here. So you click on that word, because now we're going down, I guess, the chain of its morphology, right? This is what we're doing right now, is going through the word's morphology. So you see how the word graphy is connected phonetically to the word grammar, right? The G-R-A. Then you see down here, it's connected to the word carve. Now, what's also interesting, if you look up the word grammar, you'll see a grammarian, which grammarians were Greeks or Europeans who learned grammar at the feet of the Moors. Literally, look it up. If you look up grammarian, you'll see they were Europeans who studied under Moors. And the reason why that is so significant is because when you click on the word grammar and you connect it all the way to the word glyph or graphy, which relates you to the word to carve, or grib, which is connected to the word glyph, you see that the Greeks called our writings hieroglyphics. You can hear the word glyph and the word hieroglyph, which is dealing with grammar. So when you actually honor grammar of the English language, you're honoring principles of ancient Kemetic or Egyptian philosophy. If you don't believe me, look it up. Like I just showed you here, right? To stretch or to carve. All right, so now let's go to hieroglyph. All right, let's just Google hieroglyph. Let's just Google it. Let's see how easy it is to just study, which I already have this up already. All right. Hieroglyph. Notice how it says hieroglyphs combine of logographic, right? Logographic means a picture or an image that represents something, which I also have the definition right here. Boom. It's a written character that represents a word or phrase. So if you're carving something like a pyramid, and that pyramid, well, I have deja vu. If you're carving something like a pyramid, and a pyramid obviously looks like a triangle, and you carve it wrong, then you didn't carve it correctly, which is grammatically incorrect. So now the reader isn't getting the proper meaning behind what you're writing. Same thing with the English language. If you don't capitalize a proper noun, you're not using the English language properly. Which this is where, if any of you have studied Arabic at all, which is crazy because the word Arabic script is right there connected to hieroglyphs. They tell you that if you spell any word correctly in the Arabic language, Allah will bless you, 10 times fold, because when you're spelling, you're actually casting spells, right? So if you're writing grammatically incorrect on legal documents, then that person's clearly going to know that you're a ward. Clearly, you don't know how to read and write. Clearly, you don't honor your own ancient writing system, right? And you can obviously see that hieroglyphics were carvings, which again, where you get the word glyph from, which again is related to the grammarians, and again related to the whole Renaissance period, and related to the fact that our ancestors taught these Europeans everything. So to say that capitalism on the negative side is related to all capital letters on the negative side, you're out of your mind. And to just blindly follow someone that says something like that just because it sounds simple. Oh yeah, capital letters is connected to capitalism. You obviously know nothing about your ancestors. But then they'll try to tell you that this is how our ancestors wrote, when that's not. Our ancestors did not write grammatically incorrect. In fact, you see the word Phoenician? Phoenician. Look up the word phone, and then look up the suffix CIAN or IAN. It will mean one skilled in sound. So now if every alphabet is a logographic alphabet. It represents something. So if you're looking at a glyph or a letter, and that glyph is wrong, which means you're going to pronounce the wrong sound, then you don't know how to read. Or you're reading incorrectly, or you're doing something wrong. So now if you're in a courtroom and you're writing wrong, you're not going to get the desired effect that you need. Again, this is where knowing the proper nomenclature of things, knowing proper language, knowing the proper foundation of language is important. Again, I stated before that, most people, when it comes to a firearm, they'll call a magazine a clip. But a clip is something that bullets go on so that you can take those bullets off and put them in your magazine. So now imagine you're in a firefight and you run out of ammo and you ask someone for a clip. And since, we call things by what they are, I give you a stripper clip and you're out of bullets, you're screwed. Same thing in the courtroom. If you got to do a summary judgment and you write a default notice, then the court's clearly going to see that you're incompetent. If I'm asking you for the Wi-Fi password and it's case sensitive, and you want to tell me in all lowercase letters because you don't want to deal with capitalism, and I'm trying to get on the internet, I'm not going to be able to get on the internet because you don't know simple basics of the English language, because someone is fooling you by trying to appear more intelligent than what they are. So anyone telling you to write in lowercase letters, I suggest you run in the opposite direction. Now, here's grammar, right? In linguistics, grammar is the set of structural rules governing the composition of clauses, phrases, and words in a natural language. So they're going to tell you to go against nature? Because remember, if you look up hieroglyphs, that's nature right there. Those are birds, beetles, water. That's a human eye. That's nature. So people telling you to write grammatically incorrect, they're telling you to go against nature? Phonology, morphology, syntax, phonetics, semantics, pragmatics, which is what your ancestors taught, which is what the master etymologist Abdullah El Talib Mozi Bey has been teaching us for years. You're going to listen to some new person and go against that? Didn't Noble Drew Ali tell us that he's trying to make us respect law, order, and governmental principles, governing the rules that govern language? How can you write any laws if you don't even know grammar? How can you possibly speak to any delegates of any foreign nation if you don't even know grammar? Basic grammar. The structural rules governing the composition of clauses, phrases, and words in a natural language. So now if you're preparing for to cross-examine witnesses in the courtroom and you forgot to put a question mark on one of your questions or all of your questions because you don't honor grammar, and you end up sick that day, so someone else, another Moor, has to go there for you, and they don't understand your writing language because you don't respect principles of language, that person can't pick up where you left off. So now your whole case is gonna collapse. You just lost your case now. This is again where the Tower of Babel comes in the Bible, where it says the people speaking one language cannot be divided, meaning we all know the principal foundation of language, which etymology is one of those principles, which is why I went through etymononline.com to show you the connection from Egyptian hieroglyphics, the word glyph, the word greb, and the word gram, all the way up to the English grammar. But I did it in reverse so you can see how it's connected to our ancient ancestors. So if you don't understand that, then again, the Tower of Babel, the people speaking one language can't be divided. So the lords came up, divided the language, and now the people can't build shit. So now, those of us who have knowledge are telling you, hey, honor linguistics, honor what your ancestors created, honor that. And then you got these other idiots saying, nah, capitalism, capital letters don't do it. Now what? Now we can't build anything. This is why it's important to study. This is why it's important for everyone to be involved with more science, and especially the politics, because in order to be a citizen of any free national government, you have to participate, which means you have to hold leaders accountable for their stupidity and their ignorance. That's what being a citizen is, participating. Let me try to read some of these questions, because that's basically it. It doesn't it doesn't get any more complicated than that. Off topic, but your thoughts on the current state of affairs. They're fear-mongering. They're using fear to push their agenda faster. They're switching to digital currency so they can, not digital currency, digital money, so that way they can control the people's currency, which is the people's energy. So again, this is why it's so important to know about grammar, because when you talk about currency, you're talking about moving water as in current, which you are 70% water. So your energy is represented in money, and they're controlling the money to control your energy. That's science. So that's what they're doing. And they're using the so-called state of emergency to pass these so-called bills faster, which is all color of law, which has nothing to do with us except for we keep mentally attaching to it. We have to worry about our own government, which this is governing our mind. If our people can't even understand the basics of grammar, then we're not going to go anywhere. Because if I'm writing a constitution and bylaws for, whether it be the state or whether it be my own corporation, and you're part of the board of governors or board of directors and you don't understand grammar, we're not going anywhere. Who said that? I'm not. Every time I say any names about any Moors, I get a bunch of stones thrown at me, and I'm the only one standing up, so I'll let you figure it out. What is your opinion about quantum grammar? I think the whole quantum syntax and quantum stuff, it's true, but the way that European guy that all these people are worshiping is teaching it he's wrong. He's telling you that the 8 parts of speech, how words belong to one of those 8 parts of speech. He's telling you that an adjective can change into a noun based on where it is in the sentence. That's not how the English language works. So again, study grammar, study semantics, study phonology, study morphology, study syntax, and then you won't be fooled. Quantum grammar is real because the quantum realm is real. Everything is given in degrees. So if you don't understand the basic degree of grammar, you're not going to comprehend anything more complicated. That's what quantum mechanics is. Everything is in degrees. Let me see. If you missed the video, just run it back. It's not that long. I'm going to wrap it up here soon. That was the main point. I just want to answer some questions. I have a question. I sent my proclamation paperwork twice to the address presented on the instruction. Each time it's forwarded back to me saying there's no address. Look at the homepage of our website and you'll see the address. This has helped me greatly. I'm glad you put this on today. Thank you. I'm glad to help. Anyone know who everyone knows who the shots are at. That's good. You should know. Because you should be participating in your more stuff. The temple will not be open tomorrow because I still can't find my keys. I think someone stole them, but other people just think that they're in the house. I haven't found them in this house, so I think someone has them. Again, just to recap, honor your foremothers and your forefathers. They are the ones that have created language based on the observance of nature, which is dealing with that principle in the Bible where the great God of the universe, Allah, tells you, commanded you, observe all things which I've commanded of you, and lo, the truth is with you always. And then when you look at our ancestors' language, they looked at nature. That's why their hieroglyphs are all representatives of nature. So don't be fooled by these people telling you, again, capitalism means capital letters. So write all your legal documents and your lawful documents in lowercase letters. What is that? What basic principle of any language is that built on besides your own connotative opinion based on nothing, based on your own ego because you want to be first and you just want to be out there? You're throwing away truth. You just want to be out there like, oh yeah, I got this new thing. When there's nothing new under the sun, how are you creating something new? There's nothing new under the sun. I didn't create I'm not the one that said, hey, I figured out that the word grammar is derived from the word glyph because I created it. No, this was created before I was born. This is what works. Not, we can't use the word gene and Genesis and genetics because the word genocide is about genocidal activity that the colonists are doing to our people, family, beloved Islam, and the ancestors spoke to me and said we can't use capital letters anymore. That's how these people are speaking to you, and they look real good on the screen, and they're smiling in your face, and they're calling you family, and they're calling you beloved, and they're saying keywords like ancestors and the prophet and the holy of the moly and the mac and the roni, and you're just stupefied by these idiots. Which is why I'm going to continue to give this information to you raw with the pimple on my face. Because that's what it is. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. Name one prophet who said, I'm perfect. Because the prophets are the one that we should be looking up to, right? So show me one prophet that was like, yeah, I'm perfect. Follow me. And then slap yourself because every prophet said, follow who? Allah, which is what? Your higher self. Your higher consciousness, not their higher consciousness, yours. But that's not what these people want. They want you to follow them. They want you to write in all lowercase letters. Which gets you where? Where does that get you? Look outside. You see these Europeans patrolling your areas. So what is you writing in lowercase letters going to do? I'll wait. Then these same people that tell you to write in lowercase letters, they'll put on a show and summons a Federal Reserve agent to their fake court on camera instead of actually establish, because they don't want to leave their house. They don't want to actually do anything. They're gonna stay at home, call people to court on their camera who aren't directly affecting the people, like these so-called judges and these so-called cops. They're directly affecting our people. They're not gonna summons them to court. Why? Because it seems grander if I say I'm summoning the top guy of the Federal Reserve to my courtroom on camera in my house, and we're gonna do our Aboriginal Indigenous judgment on them and our sovereign whatever, and we're gonna write in all capital letters. They want that energy of, oh my God, they're attacking the big dogs, when they're absolutely accomplishing absolutely nothing. And they know, I'm telling you, these people know that our people are desperate and we are willing to do anything to get out of the situation that these Europeans put us in. So since these people know that, guess who they are taking advantage of? You. Don't let them do that. And the only way to not let them do that is to be competent, to be intelligent, not smart, intelligent. When you look up the word intelligent, it talks about one's ability to comprehend simple truth, not complex puzzle pieces in a labyrinth, upside down, blindfolded with one hand in the dark. Simple truth. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. If you turn it to the right, it gets tight. If you turn it to the left, it gets loose. That's the simple truth. If you can comprehend that, you're intelligent. But they know that a lot of our people have been mystified, which M-Y, which is derived from the Phoenician M, which looks like water. And guess what water does? It moves, right? And myths are always changing. So you're being mystified by all this bullshit that's spewing out of their mouth because you don't have time to study, because you think the situation is more intense than what it is. So you're just following this idol. They're idle because they're not going anywhere. When your car is idle, it's not moving. They're idol gods. The word God means to invoke. They're giving you words that don't bring you anywhere. You're following them because they know you're desperate. Idol God worship. Only way to combat that, no language. And then do something with that information. Just please study, because I was talking to an elder, gray hair and all, talking about this is what this mentor told them about capital letters and capitalism. These are elders. These people are taking advantage of elders. That don't bother you? You know what that is? Treason. You already know the punishment for treason. Know the law. Exactly. Knowing the law would be knowing the structure, the foundation, the principles of language. Didn't they say first there was the word? Oh, and the word was what? The word was God. What does God mean? To evoke, to call upon, to pour out. And the word was with God, meaning you can only invoke and pour out with words. And all things coming through existence through him, meaning words, meaning you can only manifest with words. Of course, your action. But they start off as words in here. Then what? You're human. Hu is derived from Sanskrit, huta, which means to evoke, to call upon, to pour out. And man means mind. You're the invoking mind. So now if your mind can't invoke, then you're dead mentally. Which is dealing with what? The fact that the universe is mental. So these idol gods, whether they look like you, they look like me, dark-skinned Asiatic, or they're Europeans or whoever the hell they are, they're idol gods bringing you nowhere. That's why Noble Jolly said, "Be careful, Moors. Some of your own wearing turbans and fezzes will put you back into slavery." They're trying to have you trade in the European slave master for them because they want to lead you nowhere. They just want your energy. Read the 7 Hermetic Principles, please. Because we shouldn't, there shouldn't be elders falling for this buffoonery. I'm starting to see why Cujo be so aggressive with these idiots. Because they're literally deceiving the people. And they're doing it knowingly. You try to correct them, they don't want to be corrected. Which means what? They're doing it knowingly. And they deserve no respect. The 7 Hermetic Principles. We all a thought of Allah. Exactly. I'm sorry for the quietness. I'm trying to read. I'm looking for any questions. That's basically it. Molly Mo. That's funny. That's what some of my family members call me. Anyway. Just to recap real quick, right? Hold on. Someone's at the door, so the dog is barking. Just to recap, right? Let me just go to the app real quick. Look, biography. The writing of books. Excuse me, bibliography. Grammar. Right? This is etymononline.com. This is the app. Right? The word grammar, right, is connected to the word gram, right? The dash in front of the word gram means it's a suffix, which means it's a suffix. If you don't know suffix, look it up. See the word gram, right? It's connected to the word graphy. And the word, well, you see that the word grammarian is connected to that, which is the Europeans who studied under Moors. Then you see that the word graphy is connected to the word carve, right? Then you just do the hokey pokey, and you see that Egyptian glyph, grammar, glyph, Egyptian hieroglyphs are carvings of nature. So when you're writing grammatically correct, you are honoring what? The Phoenicians, the Egyptians, Arabic, script, Aramaic, ancient Latin, your ancestors, not some European anything. Because these idol gods will tell you, oh, you know, this is the European language, as if English is the European anything. If I just showed you how the word grammar is morphemically and etymologically and phonetically derived from Egyptian hieroglyphics, then the English language is based on the Egyptian language, which means the Europeans didn't create shit. Where does it say European on this? Where does it say European? Anywhere over here? Did I say European? Nope. No. Nope. Nah. Nope. Don't see it. And guess what? When you look up the etymology of certain English English words, you'll see something in all capital letters, PIE, which means Proto-Indo-European, Indo-European, and it'll show you the root. And most of the time, the English language has a Proto-Indo-European root, which proto means before, Indo means amongst, European means European. So before the family of languages, meaning amongst, so the family of languages that are European, there was something else. So you tell me again, what languages Europeans created? If all their words have an ancient origin, and they're not ancient people, so go ahead, tell me. Once you can explain that, then you can start telling our people and lying to their face and telling them that they can write in lowercase letters. And with that, I'll say peace.